Good morning, cyber friends. This is Midiman coming back at you from Marcus Music. This is Saturday morning, getting ready to get out of here for a choir rehearsal as usual. But I had to stop by and for just a few moments to give some shout outs. I don't get chance a lot of time to comment and to do a reply back to the comments that I get on my YouTube channel. So I take these time to do videos to give the people a response, to give you your honor, and to let you know that Midiman do appreciate every comment. I don't get a chance to read them all sometime, and I don't go back to check them a lot of times on my videos. But I do thank all the people that find some stuff that don't go right with them sometimes, like Brother JT, when it comes to the audio or whatever. And they give me some feedback on that. I really appreciate that, and so I can go up there and try to fix it. So we're just saying that we give God all the glory, and we give him all the praise for life, health, and strength for as it is this morning. We thank God for each and every one of you, and like I said, this is a shout out, and I thank God most of all, and I thank him for his darling son Jesus Christ and the pardon of my sin, in other words, and yours if you have invited him to be the Lord of your life. But this is a shout out to certain people. We thank all the ones that have supported from day one. Brother JT, Sister Lady D is, matter of fact, very, very diligent and supporting in the online Bible study blog talk, as well as we got some that listen by way of the web that they don't call in, because I know my wife always listening on the by way of the web. And then we have others like that would like to support, like little brother Orange Flavor, but like I said, the time is so messed up for him because he's like in a 6-hour time difference than we are. And matter of fact, see, when I be airing at 11, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning where he is in Germany. So we understand that, and but we know that he is a great supporter and always have been. He tried to do the best he could. So we give him also the a shout out along with Sister Lady D and Brother JT, as well as the rest of the listen by the way of the web. Like I said, Bonnie always listen on the web. Every time we have Bible study, she always listening in. And to all the others that might be, I may not be. I don't want to just overlook anyone. So I'm saying, if you do, those that comment, like Sister Kate and all of the ones that make comments on the Bible study or whatever else that I perhaps may try to do. Even these Word for the Day videos. I try not to make them too long, and I try to be sensible with it, but I understand that people have other things to do. And so I just try to limit, but I do try to do what I do. And I'm not, like I said, me and Brother JT talk about it all the time. You don't do stuff because other people doing it. You're not in competition with nobody. You just let people do what they do, and you do what you do. Don't you worry about it. And so with that being said, I would just like to say that, I was on my study last night. I want to share this with everyone, and then I'm going to go on and sign off. On my study on last evening, I was studying about the time when Peter, after he had got back from going to Caesarea and visiting with Cornelius, the Gentile, the Italian band man, I call him. And after he had gotten back to Jerusalem, and he knew, and once he got back to his brethren, that he would be ridiculed. He knew he was already sitting ready for him. He had already prepared himself to get reprimanded for going to the Gentiles, because as a Jew, they were not just supposed to interact with Gentiles, period. They weren't supposed to eat with them and nothing else. But Peter did so with the Italian band and with Cornelius and his family, so he was ready. In other words, the Holy Spirit is not dumb, people. He will give us and lead us into all truth and give us all sorts of direction for whatever we may need. And so this is exactly what he done with Peter. And therefore, Peter was already ready for their comments and their downgrading of him for going to the Gentiles. Nevertheless, he said, "Who am I? Who was I to go against God?" If God showered the Holy Spirit on these people just as he did us, who was I to go against God? And that's the same thing I'm going to say this morning, people. When God has told you to do something, you shouldn't worry about what Midiman thinks. You shouldn't even ask Midiman anything, because if God has told you to do it, that's all the confirmation you need. What I say don't matter. In other words, and that's exactly what happened here in this case. And then we see in Acts 11 that they had Barnabas to go to search out for Saul. And then after he found Saul, they went to Antioch. And it was at Antioch where the disciples was first called Christians. And therefore it was a great dearth that was prophesied by one of the prophets. I think his name was Agabus. And he proclaimed that it would be a great fast, a great dearth, in the land, all over the world. And it was so. And during that time, all the brethren from all around the region, from every place, they took up funds. They gathered funds together. They took up proceeds to give by the hand of Paul and Barnabas to take to the brethren that was at Judea, to keep them from starving to death, because it was a great dearth in the land. So with that saying, people, it just shows us that whatever we do, there's always going to be somebody that's not going to understand. But you got to just continue to do what's right regardless of what. And we see this right here with Paul and Barnabas, or Saul and Barnabas, because his name was not yet changed to Paul yet. But Barnabas and Saul, they did the right thing. Peter, he showed that he would do the right thing, following the unction of the Holy Spirit. And that's what we need to do. If we follow the unction of the Holy Spirit, we won't go wrong. Now, let me just put a little tag on that. People, sometimes the more we try to do, Satan always busy. He always trying to trip us up in some area, some aspect. And guess what? We all got some things that we get dealing with. It may not be on the surface. This might not be something that is visible to others. But you know and I know what we are dealing with within. And we know we need the Holy Spirit to help us to get us over that hurdle. We all got something that we are dealing with. And it's private. It's none of my business, none of your business. But we all got something that the Holy Spirit is working. He's up under that cover doing that covert operation. He's working under there. So that's all we need to worry about. Don't worry about what people think. Worry about more what God knows. So with that being said, whatever you get into, if God's not in it, best you come out of it. This is Midiman saying, have a good weekend, have a safe weekend. And a big shout out to all the supporters. You know who you are. God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. And whatever God is not in, get out of it, because it's going to come to nothing. This is Midiman saying peace. Goodbye.